Hvad skete der?
Many film critics, whether they admire jump cuts or abhor them, believe they pull viewers away from the film experience. However, film director Susanne Bier uses the technique of jump cuts in her film Open Hearts in such a way that the viewer is brought into the drama of the film experience and into the hearts of her characters instead of away from it. As a so-called Dogma 95 film, Open Hearts uses a stripped-down set of techniques. Although limited, what it does use, it uses masterfully. The film begins with Cecile and her boyfriend Joachim, a young couple madly in love, ready to begin a life together. We experience our first jump cut after Joachim proposes to Cecile, and she questions whether or not he is drunk. The jump cut highlights Joachim's sarcastic response as he tries to pull the ring away. Viewers who have not experienced jump cuts before may feel a bit of tension in this moment because of the jarring effect the jump creates. But if viewers aren't attentive, they might not even notice the cut. You have to look for it to see it, and though you sense it, it doesn't pull you away from the drama.
Jeg elsker dig. Det var Joachim, altså.
During moments of difficulty between characters, Susanne Bier, the director of the film, increases the number of jump cuts and the severity of the jumps. Because the drama is more intense, the severity of the jump cuts does not pull the viewers out of the film experience. In the scene following the proposal, jump cuts are scarce. This scene shows viewers the intimate relationship between Cecile and Joachim. Although they argue over Joachim's desire to travel to Patagonia, there is no serious tension in the scene, and as a result, there are few jump cuts.
You make me wanna shoot.
Hej. Har det godt?
Vi sidder lidt her.
Farvel.
When Joachim is unexpectedly hit by a passing car, we are given our first big action and the source for the drama that will encompass the remainder of the film, and in effect, the action that incites the use of more frequent and severe jump cuts.
Gud. Nej.
Altså, jeg kan ikke mærke mine arme og mine ben. Altså, det føles skide underligt.
The film continues, and we learn that Joachim, victim of the crash, will never walk or move any part of his body below his neck again. We then experience more and more jump cuts as the tension between his and Cecile's relationship crescendos. Angry and bitter, Joachim demands that Cecile stops coming to see him.
Gå nu for fanden!
Altså, man kan jo alt muligt. Der må der være et eller andet, man kan gøre.
As a result, Cecile seeks comfort from the hospital's Dr. Niels, who also happens to be the husband of the woman named Marie who hit Joachim with their car. After spending many days and nights comforting Cecile, Niels believes he has fallen in love with her. Cecile and Niels become lovers and are then confronted with their own selves and the tragedy their relationship has caused.
Er du syg i hovedet? Hvad? Er du syg i hovedet? Hvad fanden, hvor langt har du løjet? Hvad?
The actors who play Joachim, Cecile, Niels, and Marie have been noted for their outstanding performance in this film. Without their dramatic performances, the jump cuts could have pulled viewers out of the film experience. Joe Cooper of eFilmCritic.com states, "Seldom does a film come along in which all of the main characters are acted out flawlessly. The central 4 adult roles in Open Hearts are delivered almost to perfection." Some may argue that the use of jump cuts makes these performances look better than they actually are because less ideal moments could be cut out. Bier does not appear to take this approach in her films. Rather, she uses jump cuts as a technique within the film to create a feeling of tension to accompany the tragic story. In an interview with IndieWire representative Wendy Mitchell, Bier said about the plot of her film, "In a way, I think we have this fear about us and this anxiousness. That's the way our lives look." Beer states that Open Hearts is a real attempt to describe how I believe life is, for better or for worse. Although Beer notes some constraints from adhering to Dogma 95, such as natural lights and sets, these techniques, along with the use of jump cuts, create what Beer calls very strong realism.
Men du skal ikke ødelægge vores familie. Sådan er det ikke. Der er alt for mange mennesker, der bliver kede af det. Forstår du det? Der er alt for mange mennesker, der bliver rigtig kede af det. Forstår du, hvad jeg siger? Ja. Så du skal holde dig væk.
In the most climactic scenes enacted in the film, the jump cuts are even more frequent and severe, impressing upon the viewer feelings of hearts divided caused by misunderstanding and unforeseen tragedy. The open hearts of Niels and Marie differ in their intent and desire, but are similar in the vulnerability to being torn or cut. Whereas Niels' heart is open to new love and a new relationship with Cecile, Marie's heart is open to forgiving Niels and repairing their past relationship. Jump cuts are used in these important scenes to illustrate this concept of hearts being cut abruptly and unexpectedly. Continuity in the characters' relationships and in the camera shots are disrupted and ultimately distorted by the fractures in the characters' lives and the jump cuts in the scenes. Viewers are so emotionally involved in the intensity of the relationships that they are not separated from the scenes when the jump cuts become severe. Beer understands that real life is not always as smooth as we would like to think. Her use of jump cuts illustrate the tension and somewhat jarring reality in which we live. The unexpected happens and things must go on, for better or for worse.
Jeg skal nok tage mig sammen, okay? Jeg skal nok tage mig sammen. Gå lige om lidt.
As the film comes to a close and the tension between characters dissolves, so do the jump cuts. Although we are not given a definitive answer as to how each individual will proceed with his or her life, the end of the jump cuts indicate that we can feel at ease and trust that things will work themselves out in the end. Despite Jump Cut's bad popular reputation in previous films such as Breathless, Open Hearts was well received by critics and audiences alike, having its first showings at the Toronto Film Festival, where it received the International Critics Award. Bier's award was given with the comment that her technique skillfully captured the freeing of real emotions that extreme drama creates within the lives of the characters in her film. Bier has won countless other awards, including a Golden Globe and the Best Foreign Language Oscar. Suzanne Bier's film techniques may be subtle, but her talent is not going unnoticed. Her attention to the details of her films is comparable to that of another Danish director, the famous Carl Dreyer. It is not a stretch to say that even Dreyer, who is often held as one of the greatest directors in cinema, would have admired the art of Open Hearts. Bier tells a beautiful story about how open hearts are easily broken. She makes this concept a reality in her films by using jump cuts as an artistic channel, not to self-consciously pull viewers out of the experience, but to invite them into the hearts of her characters and to help them realize their own inhibitions of love and fears of vulnerability.
One more day, 'cause tonight there's only